And much of the crude that ends up in your gas tank is shipped across this country by rail. And today, in the wake of the Lac Megantic disaster, the Transportation Safety Board took the rare step of calling for 2 immediate changes. It has found insufficient brakes were applied in the crash, and it wants the government to act so more lives aren't put at risk. Christina Stevens reports.
Nearly 2 weeks after the massive train derailment in Lac Megantic, the town is still reeling. It's early in the Transportation Safety Board's investigation, but they're already pointing to a cause: insufficient brake force. But they can't say yet whether there was a problem with the brakes themselves or whether it was operator error.
What we know is that handbrakes are highly variable.
The TSB is taking steps to make sure something like this never happens again, with calls for immediate action on 2 recommendations.
We're asking Transport Canada to review the Canadian rail operating rules and the related railway special instructions to ensure that equipment and trains left unattended are properly secured in order to prevent movement.
The TSB also wants Transport Canada to make sure that trains carrying dangerous goods are not left unattended on a main track. Recommendations they've been making for 15 years after other derailments. The minister declined an interview today, her office saying she has directed Transport Canada officials to review these on an expedited basis, while the opposition is demanding a special meeting of the Transport Committee right away.
We want to hold the government accountable. We want them to tell us what are the barriers. How can we overcome the barriers? Do they need a legislative framework? Is it just regulation?
Canada's 2 biggest rail lines, CN and CP, announced their own safety reviews yesterday, with CP implementing new measures similar to the TSB recommendations. Still, a transportation safety advocate says the problem isn't the rules, it's the enforcement.
Without enforcement of the rules, it's kind of pointless making new rules.
The July 6th derailment is believed to have killed 47 people. The TSB says it's looked at 25 tanker cars since gaining access to the blast site 2 days ago and has interviewed the train's engineer, but are not releasing any details of that discussion. Christina Stevens, Global News, Toronto.